Dear students, welcome to our YouTube channel Vidya for Success. In this video, we will be studying CET concepts on the lesson Living World. Our first MCQ question of this lesson is, which is the most important but generally not used criteria for identification of species? So first option is interbreeding, second one is morphology, third one is genetic material, and fourth one is none of this. So in this question they are asking, which is the most important but generally not used criteria for identification of species? What is meant by species here? So species is nothing but group of organisms, they are sharing similar characteristic feature. So if we are considering organisms belonging to the same species, the organisms should follow certain characteristic feature. So if you look into the first option, interbreeding, so this is a very important character of the species. What is meant by interbreeding? Interbreeding is a process. So in this process, the organisms under the same species, they can interbreed among themselves, they can mate among themselves and produces fertile offspring. So even though the interbreeding is very important characteristic feature, we have some exception cases. One is worker anibi and another one is infertile human couple. If you take these two example, they are not following the process of interbreeding. That means they are unable to produce offspring even though they mate with the organism belonging to the same species. So because of these exception cases, what we have in the interbreeding, we are not generally considering it as a criteria for identification of species. So this is the answer for this question. Then look at the second option, morphology. So you know the organisms comes under the same species, they will be sharing similar characteristic feature. That means external appearance will be same. So morphological similarities is common criteria of the organism under the species. Then C is genetic material. So genetic material will be also same among the organisms under the species. Then D is none of this. So the correct answer for this question is interbreeding. Now second question is, the growth and reproduction are mutually exclusive events in. The first option, plants only, second option, animals only, third one, higher animals and plants, fourth one, lower organisms. So in the question they have mentioned two events, one is growth and reproduction. So these two events are the common characteristic feature of living organism, but they are asking among the following option which organism is showing these two events separately. Mutually exclusive is nothing but growth and reproduction takes place separately. Clear? Look into the first option, plants. So how the growth and reproduction takes place in plants? So in the plants, meristematic tissue will be present that helps in increasing in length and increasing in girth. But if you take the reproduction takes place in plant, that does not takes place with the help of meristematic tissue. So there are specialized cells will be present for the process of reproduction in plants. So in plants, growth will be takes place with the help of meristematic tissue, and reproduction is takes place with some other specialized cells. So growth and reproductions are takes place separately in plants. Then look at the second option, animals. So how growth and reproduction takes place in animals? So growth stops at certain age in the animals because it is controlled by certain hormones. And if you take the increasing in length as well as girth in the animals, that takes place with the help of somatic cells. Then how the reproduction takes place in animals? So reproduction takes place with the help of reproductive cells. They helps in the formation of gametes. So in animals also, growth and reproduction takes place by different kinds of cells. Somatic cells helps in the growth. Reproduction takes place with the help of reproductive cells. So here also growth and reproduction takes place separately. Then you look into the C, third option, higher animals and plants. So this is our correct answer. Then fourth option is lower organism. So how the growth and reproduction takes place in lower organism? So if you take amoeba as an example, in the amoeba, the parental cell after it gets mature, it will divide and produces new organism. So when it producing new organism, cell division has to takes place. So cell division in plants and animals helps in growth as well as reproduction. So now growth na consider madre plant alli matte animals alli ಮೈಟೋಟಿಕ್ ಡಿವಿಷನ್ ಇಂದ ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ರೀಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ನ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ ರೀಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ಇನಿಷಿಯಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಮಿಯೋಟಿಕ್ ಡಿವಿಷನ್ ಇಂದ ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಆಗಿ ನಮಗೆ ಗ್ಯಾಮೆಟ್ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ನ ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಬಟ್ ಲೋವರ್ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ಸ್ನ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ ಆಮಿಬಾನ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಆಗಿ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಪೇರೆಂಟಲ್ ಸೆಲ್ ಇಟ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಡಿವೈಡ್ with the help of cell division and directly produces two daughter cell. So in the lower organism, growth and reproduction takes place at the same time. Clear, right? So the correct answer for this question is higher animals and plants. So in this organism, growth and reproduction are mutually exclusive events. Then the third question is the sum total of chemical reactions occurring in our body is called. So as a living organisms, our body show one or the other kind of chemical reaction. If you take digestive system as an example, there some of the complex substances will be get converted into simple form. That means carbohydrate will be get converted into glucose, protein will be get converted into amino acid. In some other part of our body, simple substances will be going to form the complex substances. So all these chemical reactions what are happening in our body is known as metabolism. So the correct answer for this question is the option A, that is metabolism. Look into the option B, homeostasis. So homeostasis is also one of the characteristic feature of living organism. As a human being, we are also having this character. What is mean by this? Homeostasis is the ability to maintain a relatively stable internal state even though there is a change in external world. That means if there is a change in the external temperature, our body will be having the ability to maintain the stable body temperature. So that is known as homeostasis. Then the option C is irritability. So irritability is also one kind of response shows by our body. So sometime if the weather changes or some kind of substances in the environment will make us to respond in different way. It will cause some kind of irritation. So the mental disturbance maybe takes place or some kind of itching. So all this response of our body is known as irritability. Then the option B is catabolism. So catabolism is a type of metabolism. So I said in some part of our body the complex substances will be get breakdown into simple form, that is known as catabolism. So the correct answer is option A. Now the fourth question is mark the correct statement. So they have given few statement here. First one, only living organisms grow. Second one, plants grow only up to a certain age. Third one, the growth in living organisms is from inside. Fourth one, all of this. Look into the first statement, only living organisms grow. So if you take increasing in mass as a growth, non-living things also grow. So because of the wind current, mud particle will go and accumulate on certain region, and after a certain period of time it will lead to the formation of small hill. So increasing in mass is not only a characteristic feature of living organism, it also takes place in non-living things. So in non-living things we are calling it as a accretion. Clear? So first one is not correct. Then second one is plants grow only up to a certain age. So this is not a characteristic feature of plant, because growth in plant takes place continuously from birth to till death. This is also wrong statement. Then the C is the growth in living organisms is from inside. It is correct, because in the living organism growth always takes place from inside. The cell divides by mitotic division and it helps in increasing length or increasing in girth. So in the living organism growth always takes place from inside, not from outside. If it is takes place from outside, that is not in the living organism, it is in the non-living things that we have called as a accretion. Then fourth one is all of this. So the correct statement is the growth in living organism is from inside. Now, the sixth question is the scientific naming of plants begin with the publication of Linnaeus' book. So, Linnaeus as the first one, he has published the book regarding the information of scientific naming. So, let us see the option. The first one is Genera Plantarum. So, Genera Plantarum is the publication of Linnaeus, but it has the classification of plants based on the number of stamens and pistil. That means here the plants are classified based on the reproductive part of the plant. Then the second option is Systema Naturae. So Systema Naturae is also the book published by Linnaeus, but this consists of the information regarding description of animal species. So around 4200 animal species are described in Systema Naturae. So this is also not answer. Then C option, Species Plantarum. So Species Plantarum is also publication of Linnaeus. So this has the information regarding the scientific name of plant. So he is the first one who started naming the plants by using the scientific name. So that as mentioned in the Species Plantarum. So this is the correct answer. Then the fourth option you see, Charaka Sanhita. So Charaka Sanhita is the book. It consists of the information regarding the Ayurvedic medicine. It has written by Charaka. So for this question, the correct answer is Species Plantarum. Now the next question is taxonomy refers to. What is mean by taxonomy? So taxonomy is a branch of biology. So this branch helps in identification, naming and classification of living organisms. So they have given option. The A is plant classification, B is plant nomenclature, C is plant affinity, and D is all of this. So in the definition of taxonomy, you can understand this branch helps in identification, classification, nomenclature. So identification, classification and nomenclature is done based on the similarities of the plants or animals. So that the given option, that means A, B and C, these options are correct. So the correct answer for this question is all of these. Next question is, which of the following is a correct name? So they have given the scientific name of one of the organism. A, Solanum tuberosum. So you know the way of writing binomial nomenclature. So binomial nomenclature will be consist of genus name and species name. So genus name should always start from the capital letter, and species name, that means specific epithet, should start from small letter. So if you consider these characteristic features of the binomial nomenclature, the first option will be correct, but you have to select the appropriate one among the given option. So look into the B, Solanum tuberosum. So they have written the species name in the small capital letter. Species name here starts from the capital letter. So this is not the correct way of writing the scientific name. Then look into the C, Solanum tuberosum Linn. So at the end of the binomial name, we have to write the scientist name. So Solanum tuberosum identified by Linnaeus. So at the end of the species name, we have to write the scientist name. So this is the correct way of writing the scientific name. Then D is all of this. So among the given option, the correct answer is Solanum tuberosum Linn. So the ninth question is, which of the following suffixes used for the units of classification in plants indicates a taxonomic category of family? So in this question they have asked, what is the suffix used for the family while classifying the plants? So they have given some of the option. The first option is having the suffix ALES. So ALES is the suffix. It is used in one of the taxonomic category, that is order. So you know, while writing the taxonomic hierarchy of any of the plants, we give ranking from species till towards the kingdom. So among those taxonomic category, order is one. So order ends with one of the suffix that is ales. You can take the example of mango plant taxonomic hierarchy. So mango is belonging to the order Sapindales. So in this word you can see ales. So es is the suffix of order. Then B option is ACEAE. So ACEAE is a suffix used for the taxonomic category that is family. So you can take the example of Solanaceae, Liliaceae and Fabaceae family. So all this family name ends with the suffix that is ACEAE. So the mango is belonging to which family? So Anacardiaceae. So this is also ends with what? ACEAE. So the suffix of the family is ACEAE. Then the C option is ONAE. So ONAE is the suffix used for class while classifying the plant. So mango is belonging to which class? Dicotyledonnae. So in that you can see ONAE is the suffix. Then D option is AE. So AE is not used as a suffix in any of the taxonomic category. So the correct answer for this question is option B. Yes, the next question is the taxonomic unit phylum in the classification of animal is equivalent to which hierarchical level in the classification of plants. So while classifying plants or animals, we will give rank according to taxonomic hierarchy. So the first taxon or rank in the taxonomic hierarchy is species, then the second rank is genus, and third one is family, and fourth one is order, and sixth one is class, then next one is phylum or division, and last one is kingdom. So according to this taxonomical hierarchy, so while classifying plants, we don't use the terminology phylum. So phylum we are using for animals. So instead of phylum, we use division while classifying the plants. So the correct answer for this question is division.